Hey, what's up? I hope you're all having a good day or night, depending on where you are or what time you're watching this right now. So, tonight I just wanted to, or yeah, tonight I just wanted to kind of yap a bit again about horror, but like kind of mixed with Halloween, just because we're getting closer, like less than 10 days away. Halloween is less than 10 days away. That's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I'm filming this in the morning before school, so I couldn't really think of an idea in time, so we're doing this. Usually when I can't think of an idea, I just kind of revert back to either a yapping video or a trigger assortment video, but I wanted to do this more, so yeah, I just want to yap. So strap in for that, for just a bunch of talking, and that's about it. So, but yeah, so Halloween, at least for me, at the time of filming this, is like 11 days away. At the time of you watching this, I think it'll be 10 days. Wait. No. Wait. I don't know why I said 11. It's 9 days. 9 days away for me right now. And then for you, at the time of like uploading this video, it's going to be 8 days away. So yeah, I mean, the month of October has absolutely flown by. I mean, all the months kind of fly by, but this one really did. But, I'm excited. I do plan to go to a party, like, on Halloween. I don't really have much of a costume, so I'm just gonna wear my Friday the 13th shoes and my Friday the 13th jersey and my mask. I just wish I had, like, pants with some type of Friday the 13th thing on it. That would be cool. But those are harder to find compared to the other things. But they do exist. I just gotta get my hands on some. That's all. But yeah, looking forward to that. And I don't really know what's going to be going on at the party, but like, probably just hanging out, and there might be a scary movie going on. I don't know. Hopefully there is, because that's my favorite part of Halloween, is like the horror movies, because those are just like my favorite movies in general. So I like it because it's like more normalized to watch them so much during this time compared to watching them kind of just all the time in, like, I don't know, May. Because that's what I do. I kind of just watch horror movies throughout the entire year, and that's honestly way less normalized than it should be. I don't know why people think that's so weird. I really don't, because they're just movies, right? Movies just like any other drama, romance, comedy, action. They're just movies. They're all just movies. Why is it this specific genre that people say is weird to watch so much, so like often, like outside of October? You know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But that just might be because I'm like so used to the genre, I guess. Like, I always forget like how kind of squeamish or freaked out people can get from horror movies. Like, it actually makes them like shaken up and messed up for the rest of the day. Maybe the next day too if they have nightmares about it. I kind of forget that sometimes, if I'm being honest, because every time I watch a horror movie with somebody that doesn't watch them all the time like me, they don't really like it. They don't really like it. And so I always try and pick like a mild horror movie whenever I do that, because I know, like, if I were to show them, I don't know, Terrifier 2 with like, sorry, I haven't eaten yet, might hear some stomach sounds, but if I show them like Terrifier 2 used to it. I don't really have a reaction to it anymore because I've seen it like a fair amount of times. But for them, they haven't, and I just kind of forget that sometimes. So like, if they were to see it for the first time, I would look over and they would not be having a good time. They'd have like a face of like shock and disgust on their face and stuff. And so after a few mistakes there, I've kind of just gone with showing anybody that doesn't typically watch horror movies, showing them like very low key, mild stuff for horror, like a slasher. Those are always a safe bet. But yeah, stuff like Hereditary or Terrifier 2 or what's another crazy one? There's some that like are really stupid. Like there's a few horror movies that are just like really dumb and stupid. Like the plot at least is dumb and stupid, but it is still really, really unsettling with like either the characters or the makeup or the kills or whatever. There's a lot of horror movies like that too, so it's kind of in the middle ground there because it's dumb. It's not gonna really stick with you, but some scenes will, like Tusk. Tusk is a perfect example of that because that plot is so stupid and just weird and bizarre, but a dude gets turned into like a human walrus, and it looks so gross and just disturbing, and the screams he makes is just so nerve-wracking, and it's just like, what, you know? And also, that movie is a comedy as well, so it's like a double whammy. It just like comes out of nowhere with how scary it is, because like it's a stupid plot with some funny scenes, and it's like that until he gets turned into the walrus, and then you see the walrus just like full face, like right in your face, and it goes from like a funny stupid movie to the stuff of nightmares. And so like there's a lot of movies like that to where it's hard to see if like a newcomer to horror would be okay with it or not, you know? And it's also tough to like just like skip that scene because once he's revealed, you're gonna see him more often, and you kind of have to see him to like understand how the movie turns out, you know? But yeah, a few movies like that, and then because I saw that for the first time, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, because I'm doing like the one horror movie every single day for the month of October again. I started doing that in 2022, and I've done it every year since, so 2022, 23, 24, and now 25, so this is my 4th year doing it. But yeah, I saw Tusk like on the 6th or the 4th or something like that, and I knew it was going to be disturbing because I've already seen the scene where it shows the walrus. I've already seen that before. What I did not expect is for it to be a comedy as well, and for it to be actually pretty funny a few times. That part I did not expect. Which I would prefer to not expect that over a human walrus, you know? But then again, even if I wasn't prepared for that, I've already seen Human Centipede. So, I don't really think, and I also saw The Substance. And if y'all seen that, then you remember the kind of mold of faces and flesh and people in the end of that movie. And yeah, so I was already kind of prepared. Even if I hadn't seen the walrus human at that point yet. And that's not to say like I'm tough or I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I've seen, I have now seen like roughly 330 horror movies, okay? So I'm bound to be way more used to it and comfortable with it compared to somebody who's only seen like, I don't know, 5, you know? That's all I'm saying. And, but, yeah, so, yeah, okay, so, for the month of October, how I do that is like, for the new movie every day, the way I go about doing that is like, every day, one horror movie, but the one rule is that I can like, how do I say properly? I can never have seen that movie already, or like, it has to be a brand new movie that I haven't seen before yet, you know? It doesn't really matter the release date. Like, it could be a movie from 1979, but as long as I haven't seen it before, it counts. And it has to be horror, obviously. So, those are the two main and like only rules of that. And honestly, for the majority of the month, most of them have kind of been like snooze fests and not that great. But there's been a few that I really liked. Like I watched Ma. I liked that one. And then I saw Basket Case. I liked that one. And then VHS Halloween, the newest one. I liked that. And The Descent, that one was pretty decent. Get it? Descent, decent. They sound similar. Anyway, what else? There's one called Puppet Killer, which was a very cheap, not in the slightest popular movie that was made like a few years ago, like I think 2019. It was so stupid, like unbelievably dumb, but it's like one of those movies. Sorry, one of those movies that's so good. I mean, that's so bad that it's good, you know. And then, obviously, with the title Puppet Killer, you can kind of guess what it's about. It's about a killer puppet. And that one's also a comedy. And I think a lot of the things that they did to like set up the movie was for it to be comedy, because like the main characters, like the main like group, they're all in high school, okay? But the actors they picked to play these characters, you can visibly tell, no makeup will help, you can visibly see that they are like at least in their mid 40s. And I looked it up. I'm not just saying that, I looked it up. Every single member of the group in real life is at least like 45. I think there might have been one or two that was like in their late 30s, but what does that help, you know? And the crazy part is, it was not like an integral part to the plot whatsoever that they needed to be in high school. They didn't have to do that at all, but they did. So because of that, I'm pretty sure it's because it was a comedy and it was so obvious. They like knew people would catch on to that. So unless they just did it because they wanted to do it, not for comedic purposes, but because they thought they could get away, in which case, I gotta say, it's pretty stupid. But yeah. And then the main dude, the main character, acts like a 4-year-old on Christmas morning the entire movie. Like, he acts so innocent and like he doesn't know what's going on. And he just like laughs and smiles about every single thing that happens. It got so like, and it turns out that he was like also mentally insane, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's just a really stupid movie, but I kind of liked it. some that like had a good plot to it, but the movie just kind of went really slowly to where I didn't really get into it. Like there was one called Relic, and the plot behind that was really good, but like just not a lot was happening until like the very end. So I didn't really give it a high rating. Oh yeah, that's also another important part of each movie for every day of October. After I finish, after I finish the movie, I have to rank each one out of 10 by plot, by horror factor, by gore, and by personal enjoyment. So 4 separate categories out of 10. That's another rule. And I don't do that with every horror movie I've ever seen. I only do that with the horror movies that I watch during October. Because if I were to do that with every horror movie I've ever seen, that would take quite some time. But I do categorize those in their own way, though. But, yeah. So those 4 categories. And then, like, Relic, I gave like a 7 out of 10 on plot because it was really good, but like a 6 out of 10 on personal enjoyment because it was, didn't really like it super duper much. And then, weapons. I saw Weapons. Here's what I gotta say about Weapons. I don't understand the hype. I don't get it. I don't get why it has like over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't understand why everybody loves it so much and why it's like such a hit. I don't get it. The movie is okay. It's okay. And that's it. It's an okay movie. They kind of set it up like Pulp Fiction, like with, you follow one person's story, right? And then once it's a certain point, it switches to another character and follows their story until it reaches that same point. And then it switches to another character, does it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Until we have like all of the plot out there in the open. We know everything that's going on because we just followed like 10 separate stories leading to this one moment. And don't get me wrong, the idea was pretty cool. I'm not gonna say anything because it's still fairly new, so I won't spoil it. But I mean, it wasn't bad. I gave it a 6 out of 10 on personal enjoyment, so it was okay. But it wasn't great. It wasn't great like how everybody's making it out to be. I was hoping it would be, but I was honestly kind of surprised because usually I love every horror movie I see, and I just like them all automatically because of the genre, and I still like this one, but I did not like it as much as I thought I would, which is surprising because that rarely happens. If anything, I like horror movies more than I think I would, you know? But, yeah, it was kind of disappointing. But yeah, it is the 22nd at the time of filming this, so I still have, like, let's see, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and the 31st. So, 10 more movies to watch. And, I need to, like, do some research for movies because I already got, like, I have, like, pre-selected horror movies that I think of, like, before October gets here to watch. But I'm running out of those. I only got, like, 4 of those left. And after that, I gotta figure out what to watch before those days get here. Because I can't be like, have no movies left, and then it's the day of a new movie and I don't have one left. That I'm scrambling, you know? Don't want to do that. So I kind of just gotta be looking up good movies that people like before those days get here. And it gets harder and harder each year because I see more and more horror movies throughout the year. Plus, in the previous October, I had to do the exact same thing where I look up, like, the most favorited movies of, like, a certain subgenre of horror or something. And then because I've seen like all the major ones now. And now I see stuff like Puppet Killer, which can be surprisingly enjoyable, but still, you know. But anyway, overall, pretty excited for Halloween. I like doing this Halloween tradition thing that I kind of just decided to start doing a few years ago, of watching a movie every day. But yeah, I really don't get why people hate on horror so much more than like any other genre, you know? Like, look at romance. That stuff is slow and boring like you wouldn't believe. No offense to any romance enjoyers, but you know, after a while it just, I don't know. I never really liked them, but then again I have seen a few horror movies that tie in romance like together. That's a newer one that I really liked. So if you like romance, then try that one out. But then again, it is horror, so be prepared for that. But anyway, that's about it. I gotta leave for school soon, so I should probably wrap things up. So anyway, thank you for listening to me yap about Halloween and horror yet again. Probably yapped about this subject more than any other, but that's okay. But yeah, okay. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all are feeling much more relaxed and sleepy compared to before you clicked on this video. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or night. And with that being said, the video is now over. So I will see you all in the next one. Okay. Yeah, so thank you again.